Okay, family, we just waiting on 16 to show up. How's everyone?
Mic check 1 2. Can you all hear?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm literally running off of my cell phone. I'm not sure what's wrong with the mic. I apologize for this, family. Everything was working, and then all of a sudden, it's not. So my
You good,
apologies.
baby.
I'm running off of my phone. Today has been a hell of a day.
No, you good, baby. We
Okay,
got you.
let's see. All right, good evening, family. I do apologize for the delay. I had mic issues. For some reason, it was working, and then all of a sudden, stopped working on me. So I'm talking to you through my cell phone because right now that's the only mic that I can get to come up. I may have to reboot my entire computer system. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Um, the saying, when it rains, it pours. Well, it's been pouring on me since this morning. So charge it to my head, not to my heart, because I do not mean to further delay. We have a very good topic that we want to discuss tonight, and so we're off to a slow start, but we're getting there. I'm going to end up rebooting my entire system while we're going through this topic. So if I have anybody else that wants to join the live, now would be a great time to join the live while I have everything. I'm just going to reboot my entire system, and that way we can get it back up. Um, Before we get started, let me make sure to announce before I forget, and I'm going to try to remember to announce again at the end of the show. This coming Sunday, we have the disaster preparation class that will be on Sunday, July 14th. It had to be rescheduled. So for those of you who have already paid, or those of you who already received an email regarding the updated class that was coming up, you have no worries. You're already on the list. Anyone who wants to join the class, the fee is $25. You'll pay that to Professor Griff's PayPal, and his PayPal information is below the video in the description box. So anyone in the live tonight that wants to sign up for the disaster preparedness class, it is this Sunday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and reboot my system. Like I said, anyone who wants to join the live, come on in now. We're going to go ahead and get started. While I'm rebooting this, I'm just going to work from my phone. So I won't be able to see any articles or anything for a minute. Quan, I would like for you, Quan actually brought this topic to me, and I think that it's a great topic to talk about this evening, especially since it kind of adds or builds on the topics that we talked about last week. So let's go ahead and hear from Miss Kwan for a minute, and she'll kind of give us a brief overview, especially coming from a business owner's perspective, and your take on how Obama actually destroyed Black wealth. We had that conversation last week. We kind of touched a little bit on middle class and how the middle class is literally disappearing. So let's go ahead and start the dialogue.
Okay, 60, when you come back in, make sure your volume is all the way up so I can hear you a little better.
Okay, will do. I'll be here through my cell phone though while I'm rebooting.
Peace, family. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and enjoyed their day for the most part. So when I talked to 16 about this topic, it felt very near and dear to me because, you know, as a Black woman in this economy, in this system, you know, wealth and creating legacies is very important to me. And so one of the things I wanted to discuss tonight was how Obama literally destroyed the Black wealth during his legacy. And we basically took a lot of what we're going to discuss tonight from an article called Foreclosed by Ryan Cooper and Matt Bruni. We basically took a lot of what we're going to discuss tonight from put your phone on mute, please. By Ryan Cooper and Matt Bruni. Paul, can you put your phone on mute, please? We're going to discuss tonight from put your phone on mute, please. By Ryan Cooper and Matt Bruni. Paul, please put your
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah, Paul, put your phone on mute, love. Okay. So this article basically discussed, you know, the problem with Obama and how he literally destroyed the Black wealth. And I'm just going to pull from a couple of, you know, pieces of this article, and so you can kind of get a basis of what we're going to discuss tonight. And basically it opened and says, you know, between 2007 and 2016, the average wealth of the bottom 99% decreased by 4,500, which decline particularly concentrated among the housing wealth of African Americans. And it says much of the decline in wealth was the direct result of policies enacted by President Obama. You know, they said that his housing policies, particularly regarding foreclosures, were a disastrous failure that led to millions of families losing their homes, with Black families suffering especially harsh losses. And moreover, it says that Obama had the power, not only the power, but the money, the political tools, and legal leverage that could have very sharply eliminated the foreclosed crisis, if not literally like eliminated it or prevented it. But he chose not to. And ironically, during that time, if we all can remember, we were going through a recession during that time. And if you can remember, Congress passed an American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, which was during 2009. And basically what it did was it gave $787 billion to American families and small businesses. But unfortunately for Black American families, you know, our situation literally peaked and kept, you know, underwater during his legacy. And it also discussed how, you know, most notoriously, there were Black families were largely locked out the New Deal federal housing subsidies. And so if you're familiar with subsidies, basically it helped a lot of homeowners who were going through rising issues as far as mortgages was concerned. And, basically during the post-war time, there's this thing called redlining. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with what redlining is, but basically what it did was it laid out a line or a blueprint around black neighborhoods and basically said that it was unsuitable for federal insured mortgage loans. Now, if you look up what redlining means, it refers to the practice of banks refusing to lend to poor minority communities. And it roughly happened between 1934 and 1968. But if you ask me, honestly, I think it still exists today, even though it's illegal. A lot of black families, like if you live in a certain zip code, it is harder for you to get approved for a mortgage loan than if you were to live in your counterpart in a white neighborhood. And unfortunately, we as black people, we get affected most by it. For us during this time, right now there's a lot of presidential candidates like Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders right now, who are basically putting their spill, if you will, out there about how they're going to affect or help